I was either going to be first up, because everyone else would look good after that, or alternatively, I would be second up after Robin, because Chris and Andrew wanted a decent space between Robin's performance and mine.
And there are 3 particular questions that I've been asked today, and I'm going to answer, and I kept saying to people I will answer it later. Number 1, why didn't Emma get married in Winchester Cathedral where she lives? Well, it's the longest church walk in Europe, I don't know whether you know that, from the door to the altar. And there are only so many tissues a father can carry.
Andrew repeats the actions of his grandmother. He came from the south of England and he found something in Bournemouth from the Midlands that was too good to let get away.
It's honestly truly an honour to be stood here as a husband, I must say. She kind of always looks for the good in people and she kind of makes them feel good about themselves. It's sort of like placebo, Mother Teresa kind of thing. All rolled into one. And it's a unique trait, it's wonderfully attractive, I must say. And it's something that still remains with us today, and it's fantastic. And as opposites attract.
I'm sure would all agree that Helen, Tash and even Yvonne look absolutely great.
Why come to Bybury? Well, we came to this village many times when Emma was a child, and many of you will probably have seen the trout farm. We used to let Emma away there, and she used to, with Daniel, see if she could catch a little fish there. You paid your money. And Emma could only catch little tiddlers. And she vowed that one day she would come back to Bybury and get herself a big fish. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day.
Andrew Spellman, this is your life.
She wasn't a pretty baby, requiring us to pull the pram as opposed to push it, where you look at the child all the way around.
The relationship with Andrew and I didn't get off to a brilliant start. Instead of welcoming me into his home, new sibling to sort of support and to nurture, a sort of friend to take under his wing, he attempted to murder me immediately by throwing a wooden hammer at my head. Now you've got to ask yourself, what sort of parent arm a 2-year-old child?
I've got all these, fair to say, fairly bizarre family members. I'll just work you down the line, obviously you all know some of them. You've got my mum, who once a week wakes up thinking she swallowed a brass band. You've got Robin, who takes us on lovely country walks, apart from last year, when we end up at basically the pervert meeting point, at which point he cracked out a picnic. My dad, who I won't tell you details, but at a family affair some time ago, served the entire congregation Shetland pony, telling them it was sirloin steak. My mother-in-law, dare I say, I do, who is known to dance semi-naked in a garden in the rain. My brother, who, what did I say about you? Oh yeah, like we were on holiday in Mallorca years ago, and Chris had this brilliant idea of sticking a screwdriver in the plug socket.
You told me to do it.
We're good communicators. And basically caught a load of people in a lift for 2 hours in 80-degree heat. And of course my dear old Nan, who we absolutely think the world of course, and incredible wit, incredible sense of humour, but absolute loathing of Steve Cram. And I won't test that now. Nan, what do you think about Steve Cram?
Rubbish. Andy is like an older brother to me. He doesn't talk to me and he eats my sweets.
Maths, art and even poetry all came very easily to Andrew. And I have a poem here from the young Master Spellman, age 7, which I can show to you. Behind the dustbin, down behind the dustbin, I met a cat called Ken. And then when I turned around, I saw he was a hen. Down behind the dustbin, I met a frog called Dave. I rubbed my eyes and saw he was having a shave.
Emma needed some long black drapes for some media production she was doing. She said to Dad, a detective at that time, I need some long black drapes. Anyway, Dad went to work and came home with some long black drapes. Subsequently, Emma found out that they were actually from the the police station's identity parade area, and they were the blackout curtains. In other words, the offenders had a good look at their victims. That was it.
You're a Warwood, remember that, never forget it.
We were in Greece a couple of years ago, and had this bizarre scenario. I don't know if you've ever been on a package tour, I'm sure some of you have, but you seem to meet some fairly wacky people on those things. We went on a cheese and wine evening, and this woman stood up and everyone had to introduce themselves. It was painful, you know, one of those things, God, just get me through this, maybe my spleen will burst. All those things. And this woman stood up and she said, where am I? She said, oh hi, I'm a molecular biological analyst. And everyone sort of did that thing on Blind Date, you know, ooh, that kind of thing, you know. And Emma just stood up and just said, analyse my wine.
And I can tell you why she is marrying Andy. They met back in the 1900s. And Emma found that Andrew was a man that had a deeply caring attitude and manner. The patience of Job. A keen wit with a good sense of humour, who was able to control Emma's very deep wells of emotions, her frailties and large number of problem zones.
And whilst on the Whit Sundays in Australia, you pop the question, proposing to Emma with a trademark, phobia-compliant wooden ring. Andrew actually thought he was going to get away with that ring in the long term. Girls don't like things that look like they come out of Kinder eggs, Andrew.
Many a time, Andy, we've got to say you have acted above and beyond the call of duty with our daughter on many occasions. And we, as a family, are eternally grateful for you taking her off our hands.
You both share a sense of humour which, although fully understood by only a few, is the envy of all that come across it. Seldom do you see two people which come together to complement one another so completely. You really are the example of the whole being greater than the sum of its parts.
It's very difficult for me to put into words what it's been like with Andrew, seeing him grow and the things that he brings into your life.
And here we have single rolls put into the one wrapper. Andy, Emma, your family, Andy's family, all cling together. And it states on the cover of this that the contents are soft, tender, gentle, huggable, colourful, strong and long. And we all sincerely hope here that that is what your marriage will be.
You're an amazing man, an amazing brother, and I know you'll be an amazing husband.
I think like all the good duos, you know, Lennon and McCartney, Morecambe and Wise, Jack and Jill, whatever you want to say, we complement each other wonderfully. And I think, you know, that means to sound too cheesy about it, I love you probably more than yesterday, not as much as tomorrow. So, yeah, it's fantastic. Look forward to it.
Well done.
I believe ultimately you get what you deserve, and in Emma you really have. She is absolutely incredible. This was your life, and Emma is your new life. And I know that it will be even more amazing than what's come before. Ladies and gentlemen, to Andrew and Emma.